Commander Hannah Kim stood in front of the mirror, smoothing invisible wrinkles from her blue diplomatic uniform. The silver pins on her collar caught the light as she took a deep breath. Today would change human history forever. "Commander, 5 minutes until we dock," said Lieutenant Park through the intercom. "Thank you, Lieutenant," Hannah replied, her voice steadier than she felt. The Harmony was humanity's finest vessel, selected for this historic meeting with the Valoran Empire. Discovered just 3 years ago, the Valorans controlled 17 star systems and possessed technology far beyond Earth's capabilities. Their response to humanity's careful messages had been polite but reserved. This face-to-face meeting could determine humanity's place among the stars. Hannah walked through the corridors of the ship, nodding at crew members who wished her luck. As the ship's diplomatic officer, she had spent months studying the limited information they had about Valoran culture. Yet she knew how easily things could go wrong when different species met for the first time. "Ready, Commander?" Captain G asked as she entered the airlock chamber. 4 other human representatives stood nearby, each chosen for their expertise. "As ready as I'll ever be, sir," Hannah replied. The airlock doors opened to reveal a vast reception hall. The walls seemed to be made of living crystal that shifted colors with the movement of light. The ceiling arched high above them, decorated with mathematical patterns that somehow looked both alien and beautiful. 20 Valorans waited on the far side of the hall. Hannah's breath caught as she saw them clearly for the first time. The images they had sent hadn't captured their true appearance. The Valorans stood on 4 lower limbs, with 2 upper limbs that ended in 7-fingered hands. Their bodies were covered in a translucent exoskeleton that refracted light like fine glass. But most striking were their heads, each crowned with moving filaments that waved gently, like sea anemones underwater. The filaments changed colors as they moved, shifting from deep blues to bright purples and greens. Captain G led the human delegation forward. Hannah walked 1 step behind him, mentally reviewing the greeting protocol they had been sent. The tallest Valoran stepped forward. "I am Ambassador No of the Valoran Empire. We welcome you to Station Harmony Bridge." The translator in Hannah's ear converted the clicks and whistles into smooth Korean. "I am Captain G of the Earth Vessel Harmony. We are honored by your welcome," the captain replied. Ambassador No's crest filaments flashed yellow. "Allow me to present Her Royal Highness, Princess Tae, daughter of Emperor Sung." A smaller Valoran moved forward. Her exoskeleton was more transparent than the others, and her crest filaments were longer and moved with particular grace. They shimmered with colors that reminded Hannah of a mountain stream catching sunlight. "The princess honors us with her presence," Captain G said, giving the bow they had practiced. Princess Tae's compound eyes studied the humans. "We have observed your species from afar. It is fascinating to meet you in person." The formal introductions continued. Each human met each Valoran, following careful protocol. Hannah noted how the Valorans communicated not just with words, but with the movements and colors of their crest filaments. They seemed to be having 2 conversations at once, one that humans could hear, and one that only they understood. Finally, Hannah found herself directly before Princess Ta. Up close, the alien royal was even more striking. Her crest filaments moved in complex patterns that caught the light in ways that created a rippling effect, like sunlight dancing on water. "Commander Kim, diplomatic officer," Hannah said, giving the formal greeting. Princess Tae's head tilted slightly. "You are the one who studied our messages most carefully." It wasn't a question. "Yes, Your Highness. I have great respect for your civilization." The princess studied her. "You look at me differently than the others." Hannah hadn't realized she was staring. Something about the alien's crest was mesmerizing. Without thinking, she spoke outside the rehearsed diplomatic script. "Your hair looks beautiful," she said. The words hung in the air. Every Valoran in the room went completely still. Their crest filaments, which had been in constant motion, froze in place. Ambassador No's exoskeleton flushed a deep red. Captain G shot Hannah a worried glance. She felt cold dread wash over her. Had she just insulted the princess? Violated some cultural taboo? The room's silence pressed down like a physical weight. Princess Ta remained motionless for several seconds. Then, slowly, her crest filaments began to move again, pulsing with a soft blue light that Hana hadn't seen before. In 5,000 years of our civilization, Princess Ta said, her voice translated into a melodic tone that hadn't been present before, no one has ever described our crests as beautiful. Hana swallowed hard. I apologize if I've given offense. The princess moved closer to Hana. The other Valorans seemed shocked by this breach of protocol. No offense is taken, Commander Kim, Princess Ta said. But I am curious. What do you find beautiful about something that serves only practical purposes? Our crests are sensory organs, nothing more. Hana chose her words carefully. On Earth, we often find beauty in things that are useful. The way light catches water, the patterns of leaves on trees. Beauty and purpose aren't separate to us. Princess Ta's crest filaments rippled with new colors. Fascinating. Our cultural database described humans as aggressive, territorial, and fixated on dominance displays. Yet you look at an alien species and see beauty. Ambassador No stepped forward. Your Highness, we should proceed with the formal reception. Princess Ta's crest flashed briefly red. Of course, Ambassador. She turned back to Hana. Perhaps humans are more interesting than our reports suggested. Commander Kim, I look forward to learning more about how you see the universe. As they moved toward the formal reception area, Hana noticed the other Valorans watching her with their compound eyes. Some seemed curious, others wary. But Princess Ta stayed close, her crest filaments occasionally shifting toward Hana as if trying to sense something about her. A simple compliment, Hana thought. Who would have guessed it would be the thing that truly began first contact? A week after first contact, Princess Ta requested a private meeting with Commander Hana Kim. The human delegation was surprised. Such one-on-one meetings were not part of the planned diplomatic schedule. The princess has shown unusual interest in human culture, Ambassador No explained, his crest filaments twitching with what Hana now recognized as discomfort. She wishes to see your cultural database. Captain G looked concerned but nodded. Commander Kim, you will represent Earth in this exchange. And so Hana found herself in a circular chamber aboard the Valoran station. The walls displayed mathematical equations that shifted and changed, creating patterns that seemed almost musical in their rhythm. Princess Ta entered without attendants, her translucent exoskeleton catching the light. Commander Kim, thank you for agreeing to this meeting. The honor is mine, Your Highness, Hana said with a small bow. Please, when we are alone, call me Ta. The princess's crest filaments flickered with blue-green light. My request may seem strange, but I wish to better understand humans through your art and imagery. Hana nodded and opened her tablet. What would you like to see first? Show me Earth. Hana began with simple images, oceans, mountains, forests, and cities. For each one, she explained not just what it was, but how humans felt about it. The princess watched intently, her compound eyes reflecting the changing pictures. When Hana showed an image of a sunset over the Pacific Ocean, Princess Ta's crest filaments rippled with new colors. You find this arrangement of light waves pleasing? She asked. More than pleasing, Hana explained. Many humans find sunsets moving, even emotional. The colors, the transition from day to night. It reminds us of the cycles of life. Fascinating. Show me more. For 3 hours, they moved through Earth's natural and human-made wonders. The princess asked detailed questions about everything from waterfalls to ancient temples. Her interest seemed endless, particularly when Hana explained how these things made humans feel. Near the end of their session, Princess Ta sat back, her crest filaments pulsing slowly. You truly see beauty in everything, she remarked. Hana smiled. Not everything. But I think finding beauty helps us understand the universe better. Explain. When we see beauty in something, we pay attention to it. We notice details. We connect with it. That connection leads to understanding. The princess was silent for a moment. Valorans do not think this way. We observe, analyze, and categorize. Efficient. Logical. There's value in that approach too, Hannah said. Perhaps, but I find myself curious about your way of seeing. They met again the next day, and the day after that. Each time, Hannah shared more of human culture, music, art, literature, and philosophy. The princess absorbed everything with remarkable speed, asking questions that grew increasingly insightful. Word of these meetings spread through both delegations. Captain G called Hannah to his quarters after the 5th day. The Valoran High Minister has expressed concerns about your private sessions with the princess, he said. Minister Do claims you are unduly influencing her. We're just sharing cultural information, sir, Hannah replied. The princess is curious about humans. Too curious, according to Minister Do. The captain looked troubled. Be careful, Commander. This friendship, if that's what it is, has political implications. Hannah soon understood the captain's warning. During her next visit to the Valoran side of the station, she noticed the changed atmosphere. Where before the alien delegates had been politely distant, now many watched her with what seemed like suspicion. Minister Do, a tall Valoran with rigid posture and gray-tinged crest filaments, stopped her in the corridor. Commander Kim, he said, his translator conveying a flat tone. The princess's interest in human culture is becoming excessive. I believe cultural exchange benefits both our species, Hannah replied carefully. You misunderstand. Humans are primitive compared to us. You have barely mastered interstellar travel. Your societies still fight among themselves. Your emotions cloud your judgment. His crest filaments flashed with colors Hannah couldn't interpret. The princess must remember her position and her responsibilities. Despite these tensions, Princess Ta continued their meetings. She began creating her own art, geometric patterns inspired by human designs, but created with Valoran mathematical precision. My father's advisors disapprove of my interest in humans, she told Hannah during one of their sessions. Minister Do made that clear to me, Hannah admitted. He fears what he doesn't understand. The princess's crest filaments rippled. Minister Do frequently reminds me that humans are primitive creatures who would eventually threaten our empire if not properly contained. The word sent a chill through Hannah. Contained. There are those who believe human expansion should be limited, restricted to your current territories. During their 8th meeting, Hannah brought up what had been bothering her. Your people prize function over form, she observed. Everything you create serves a practical purpose. Princess Ta nodded. Efficiency is logical. Beauty is unnecessary. But you've been creating art, Hannah pointed out, gesturing to the princess's latest creation. A spiral pattern that combined mathematical precision with flowing, organic elements. Yes, the princess seemed troubled. I find myself drawn to these impractical pursuits. It is not the Valoran way. They parted that evening with unusual formality. Hannah sensed the princess was holding something back. Hannah returned to her quarters on the human side of the station feeling uneasy. As she prepared for bed, her tablet chimed with an encrypted message. She opened it, surprised to find text in halting English rather than going through translation protocols. Human friend Hannah. It read, I have accessed sensitive information. The Imperial Council meets tomorrow. They will approve a containment policy for humans. Military vessels already moving to key transit points. Expansion beyond current territories will be forbidden. Some wish for more aggressive measures. I risk much sending this. Be careful who you trust. It was signed simply, Ta. Hannah stared at the message, her heart racing. This wasn't just a diplomatic misstep or cultural misunderstanding. This was a threat to humanity's future among the stars. She looked out her viewport at the swirling colors of the nebula that surrounded the station. Somewhere beyond those beautiful clouds, Valoran warships were moving into position. The princess had risked everything to warn her. Now Hannah had to decide what to do with that warning, and whether this unusual friendship could somehow prevent a conflict between their worlds. 3 weeks after first contact, the diplomatic mission took a sharp turn. The human delegation was summoned to the Grand Council chamber of the Valoran station. Emperor Sung himself would address them, an unexpected development that sent the human diplomats scrambling to prepare. "This can't be good," Captain G muttered as they waited in the antechamber. "Imperial involvement usually means major policy shifts." Hannah nodded, thinking of Princess Ta's warning message. She had shared the information with Captain G and Earth Command, but they had limited options. The Valorans held all the technological advantages. The massive doors to the council chamber swung open. Inside, hundreds of Valorans stood on elevated platforms arranged in concentric circles. At the center, on the highest platform, waited a figure whose exoskeleton gleamed with a pearlescent quality no other Valoran possessed. Emperor Sung was larger than the other Valorans, his crest filaments longer and more numerous, creating a crown-like effect around his head. Princess Ta stood slightly behind him, her posture rigid. "Approach," commanded a court official. The human delegation moved forward, stopping at the designated spot. Hannah searched Princess Ta's face for any signal, but the princess kept her compound eyes fixed straight ahead. Emperor Sung's voice filled the chamber without apparent amplification. "Representatives of Earth, I have reviewed the reports of our diplomatic exchanges. After careful consideration, the Empire has reached a decision regarding humanity's place in the galactic community." Hannah felt the tension in the room rise. "Effective immediately, all human vessels will be restricted to your current territories, your home system, and the 3 colony systems you have established. This measure will remain in place for no less than 50 standard years." Captain Joy stepped forward. "Emperor Sung, with all respect, this restriction seems unnecessary. Our species has shown no hostility toward the Valoran Empire." The Emperor's crest filaments flashed with colors that Hannah now recognized as impatience. "The quarantine is for human protection," Emperor Sung announced. "Your species is not prepared for the dangers of deep space." Hannah glanced at Princess Ta, whose crest filaments had gone completely still, a sign of intense emotion among Valorans. A tall military Valoran stepped forward from the second tier. His exoskeleton had a metallic blue tint, and decorations adorned his upper limbs. "Admiral Jin will oversee the implementation of the protection zone," Emperor Sung continued. "For your safety, any human vessel attempting to expand beyond current territories will be escorted back. This is non-negotiable." Hannah recognized Admiral Jin from Princess Tae's warnings. He was the one pushing for more aggressive containment policies. "We request time to consult with Earth government," Captain G said carefully. "You have 3 days to inform your leaders. The protection zone will be established regardless of your response." With that, the Emperor departed, followed by his court. Princess Ta moved to follow but turned briefly toward Hannah. The look they shared lasted only a moment, but Hannah understood the message. This was exactly what she had warned about. Back in the human sector, emergency meetings continued late into the night. Messages flew back and forth to Earth, but the 17-minute communication delay made real-time planning impossible. "Earth Command is considering our options," Captain G told his senior staff. "But realistically, we can't oppose this militarily. The Valorans outmatch us in every category." "It's not protection, it's imprisonment," Lieutenant Park argued. "They're cutting us off from the rest of the galaxy." Hannah spoke up. "I believe Princess Ta might help us. She doesn't agree with this policy." The princess. Captain Jai looked skeptical. Even if she sympathizes, what could she do against her father's decree? "I need to speak with her," Hannah insisted. "Absolutely not," the captain said. "Any unauthorized contact could make things worse. We're walking a dangerous line here." That night, Hannah received another encrypted message. "Meet me in Observation Dome 7. Come alone." Against direct orders, Hannah slipped out of the human sector. The observation dome was deserted at this late hour, its transparent ceiling offering a spectacular view of the surrounding nebula. Princess Ta was waiting, her exoskeleton reflecting the colorful gases outside. "You took a risk coming here," she said. "So did you," Hannah replied. "Your father's decree is not what he truly wanted," the princess interrupted. "Admiral Jin and his supporters have been poisoning the court against humans. They fear your species' unpredictability. We've shown no signs of aggression. It is not what you have done, but what you might do." The princess's crest filaments rippled with agitation. "Admiral Jin has been studying your history, your conflicts, your rapid technological development. He believes humans will eventually challenge Valoran dominance. And you don't agree. I see something different when I look at humans." Princess Ta moved closer to the dome's edge, gazing out at the stars. "Since our meetings began, I have been studying your art, your poetry, your music. These things were considered useless by my people, yet they contain wisdom." She turned back to Hannah. "Admiral Jin is planning worse than containment. He believes humans should be limited more permanently." The implications chilled Hannah. "You mean?" "There are precedents," the princess said quietly. "Species deemed too unpredictable have been removed from the galactic equation before." Over the next week, Princess Ta continued her study of human culture in secret, while publicly maintaining her royal duties. Inspired by human artistic concepts, she began creating something unprecedented in Valoran history, art that served no practical function, designed purely to evoke emotional response. Using mathematical principles familiar to Valorans, she created patterns that somehow captured human concepts of beauty, longing, and hope. The result was a large installation that shifted and changed as viewers moved around it, revealing different patterns and colors from every angle. Against all advice, she displayed this creation at a royal gathering. The reaction was immediate and negative. "What purpose does this serve?" demanded Minister Do, his crest filaments bristling with disapproval. "It serves no purpose beyond itself," Princess Tay replied. "That is its purpose." Whispers of corruption spread through the court. Admiral Jin was particularly vocal, suggesting that human influence had compromised the princess's judgment. Meanwhile, tensions between the species continued to escalate. Reports came in of Valoran vessels intercepting human ships, sometimes with shows of force. Earth Command ordered all civilian vessels to return to protected space. Hannah was summoned to Captain G's office 2 days later. His expression was grim. "Commander Kim, we've received new orders. The Harmony will return to Earth immediately. The diplomatic mission is being suspended." "We can't leave now," Hannah protested. "Things are at a critical point. That's precisely why we're leaving. Earth Command feels our presence here might provoke the Valorans. They want to regroup and reassess." "Captain, Princess Ta has warned me that Admiral Jin wants more than containment. He's looking for an excuse to take military action against human worlds." Captain G sighed. "Which is why we need to withdraw. We leave in 12 hours. Pack your things." Later that evening, as Hannah was reluctantly packing her quarters, she received an urgent message requesting her presence in the cultural exchange room. She found Princess Ta waiting, her usually composed demeanor visibly shaken. "You're leaving," the princess stated. It wasn't a question. "Tomorrow morning." Earth Command's orders. Princess Tay's compound eyes fixed on Hannah with an intensity she had never seen before. The Valoran's crest filaments had darkened to a deep blue, a color Hannah had never observed in any Valoran. "Don't go," the princess said simply, her translator conveying an emotion no Valoran had expressed before. In that moment, Hannah realized that something unprecedented had happened. In all their cultural exchanges, it wasn't just Hannah teaching the princess about human concepts of beauty and emotion. Princess Ta had begun to experience emotions herself, something Valorans had evolved beyond centuries ago in favor of logical efficiency. And now, standing before her, the alien princess was experiencing what might be the first case of sorrow in recent Valoran history. The Harmony never reached Earth. 2 days into their journey home, an emergency transmission broke through on all channels. The human research station Galileo in the Proxima system had been attacked. 32 researchers were dead. The rest had been evacuated just before the station's destruction. Captain G called Hannah to the bridge as the images came through. The Galileo, once a proud example of human engineering, was now a twisted wreck of metal. Valoran warships, Lieutenant Park said, pointing to the sensor readings. 3 cruisers. They're still in the system. A formal message from Admiral Jin arrived minutes later. His image appeared on the main screen, crest filaments rippling with colors that Hannah now recognized as satisfaction. "We regret the loss of life," Admiral Jin stated without emotion. "However, our sensors detected weapons research at the Galileo facility, research aimed at Valoran biology. We acted to protect our species." Captain G's fists clenched. "That's impossible. Galileo was a planetary formation study station. There were no weapons." When the transmission ended, the captain turned to his crew. "Set course for Proxima. Maximum speed." "Sir," Hannah questioned. "Our orders have changed. Earth Command has recalled all diplomatic personnel and authorized defensive measures." His expression was grim. "They're calling for military readiness across all colonies." For the first time in its short history of space exploration, humanity was preparing for interstellar war. The Harmony arrived at Proxima 3 days later. 5 other Earth ships had already gathered, forming a defensive perimeter around the remaining human outposts. On the far side of the system, Valoran vessels had taken up positions, far more than the 3 that had attacked Galileo. "They're sending a message," Captain G said as they observed the Valoran fleet. "They can destroy us whenever they choose." Hannah stared at the enemy ships, thinking of Princess Ta. Had she known about the attack? Was she part of this deception? Hannah didn't want to believe it. That night, as the human fleet prepared defensive strategies, Hannah's terminal chimed with an incoming transmission. The security protocols had been bypassed, and the signal came directly from Valoran space. Princess Ta's face appeared on the screen. Her normally iridescent exoskeleton looked dull, and her crest filaments moved sluggishly. "Hannah," she said, using the human's first name for the first time. "I had no knowledge of the attack. By the time I learned of Admiral Jin's plans, it was too late." 32 people are dead," Hannah said, her voice hard. "Jin claims they were developing biological weapons." "A lie," the princess said firmly. "I have been researching in the Imperial archives. This is not the first time such claims have been made." She transmitted a series of files, historical records that had been sealed from public access. Hannah opened them and felt cold dread spread through her body. The records documented 7 other species the Valorans had encountered over their 5,000-year history of space exploration. Each species had been deemed unpredictable or potentially threatening. Each had been systematically reduced or eliminated entirely. "This is genocide," Hannah whispered. "It is our way," Princess Ta said, her voice heavy with shame. "For millennia, the Empire has eliminated any species that might one day challenge our dominance. Admiral Jin is merely following established protocol. And your father allows this. The Emperor is shown only what the Admiral wishes him to see." Princess Ta's crest filaments darkened. "But I have found evidence of Jin's deception. I need your help to expose him, but there is little time. The battle fleet is preparing a full assault on your colonies." Hannah brought the information to Captain G, who immediately transmitted it to Earth Command. After tense hours of deliberation, a dangerous plan was formed. "The Emperor has agreed to one final diplomatic summit," Hannah told the command staff. Princess Ta used her royal authority to demand it. "She will present evidence of Admiral Jin's deceptions." "It could be a trap," Lieutenant Park warned. "It's our only chance to avoid war." Captain G replied. Commander Kim will represent humanity at this summit. The meeting was set for neutral space, a small station orbiting the gas giant at the edge of the Proxima system. Hannah traveled there alone in a shuttle, her heart pounding with each passing minute. Princess Ta met her at the airlock, along with 2 royal guards. My father arrives soon, she said quietly. Admiral Jin comes with him. Are you prepared? Hannah nodded. I've memorized everything you sent, but will your father listen? He must, the princess replied. For both our species' sake. Emperor Sung arrived with considerably more ceremony than Hannah expected. 20 guards preceded him, followed by various ministers including the ever-disapproving Minister Do. Admiral Jin walked confidently at the emperor's side, his military decorations gleaming. The summit chamber was circular, with a raised platform in the center. Princess Ta took her place beside her father, while Hannah stood alone representing humanity. This summit is unnecessary, Admiral Jin began. The humans have demonstrated their aggressive nature. The attack on their research station was regrettable but justified. That is what we are here to discuss. Princess Ta interrupted, her voice stronger than Hannah had ever heard it. Father, with your permission, I wish to present evidence I have gathered. The Emperor's crest filaments flickered with surprise, but he nodded. Proceed, daughter. Princess Ta activated the central display system. Images of the Galileo station appeared, along with sensor readings taken before the attack. These are the actual readings from the station, she explained. No weapons research, no biological agents. Compare them to the records Admiral Jin presented to justify the attack. The falsified readings appeared next to the originals. The difference was obvious even to Hannah's untrained eye. Admiral Jin's crest filaments bristled with anger. This is human deception. They altered these records. No, Princess Ta countered. I obtained the originals from your own command vessel. Admiral, you altered them to create a pretext for attack. The Emperor's compound eyes shifted between his daughter and his military commander. Is this true, Admiral? Your Highness, sometimes necessary actions require creative justification. The humans remain a threat, regardless of this specific incident. Princess Ta stepped forward. Father, she addressed Emperor Sung with Hannah standing nearby. We have been deceived. Humans do not threaten us with their weapons, but with their imagination. The very quality our species has sacrificed for efficiency. She gestured to Hannah. They see beauty where we see only function. This is not weakness but strength. The princess activated another display. The sealed historical records of the 7 species the Valorans had eliminated. For 5,000 years, we have destroyed any species that does not think as we do. We call it security. I call it fear. Her crest filaments glowed with unprecedented colors. We fear what we do not understand. And humans, with their creativity, their art, their ability to find beauty in the universe, these things we abandoned long ago for logical efficiency, are perhaps the most difficult for us to understand. Admiral Jin stepped forward angrily. This is emotional nonsense. The princess has been corrupted by human thinking. Perhaps, Princess Ta agreed, or perhaps I have been enlightened by it. The Emperor raised a limb for silence. His compound eyes studied Hannah for a long moment. Human, he said finally. What do you say to these accusations? Hannah took a deep breath. Everything. The future of human-Valoran relations, possibly the survival of her species, depended on her next words. Hannah stood before Emperor Sung, feeling the weight of humanity's future on her shoulders. She looked at the evidence Princess Ta had revealed, the falsified reports, the historical records of destroyed species. Your Majesty, Hannah began, humans are not perfect. We have fought among ourselves. We have made mistakes. But one thing makes us different from other species you've encountered. We learn from those mistakes. She gestured to the historical records. These species you eliminated, did you ever try to understand them? To learn from them? Or did you simply fear their differences? Admiral Jin stepped forward angrily. This human questions our ways. This alone proves their disrespect. No, Hannah countered. It proves we think differently, and different thinking can be valuable. Emperor Sung's crest filaments shifted colors slowly as he considered. Continue, human. Your civilization values efficiency and logic. Mine values creativity and emotion. Neither approach is wrong. They're just different tools for solving problems. Hannah took a breath. Working together, we could be stronger than either of us alone. The chamber fell silent. The Emperor's compound eyes studied Hannah, then moved to his daughter. You believe this alliance is possible? He asked Princess Ta. I do, father. The princess moved to stand between Hannah and the Emperor. And I am willing to prove it. With a decisive movement that shocked everyone present, Princess Ta stepped forward. I declare myself cultural ambassador to humanity, she announced, her voice ringing through the chamber. And I present evidence of Admiral Jin's deliberate provocations. The imperial court erupted in chatter. Minister Do's crest filaments stood rigid with shock. Admiral Jin's exoskeleton flushed deep red with anger. This is unprecedented, Minister Do exclaimed. A royal cannot serve as ambassador to a lesser species. Silence. Emperor Sung's voice cut through the noise. He rose to his full height, towering over everyone. My daughter has shown courage today. She has uncovered deception within our highest ranks. His compound eyes fixed on Admiral Jin, who took a step backward. Admiral, you will surrender your command pending investigation. Your Majesty. Jin protested. Everything I did was for the Empire's security. Security built on deception is no security at all, the Emperor replied. His attention returned to Hannah. Commander Kim, I wish to speak with your leaders directly. It seems we have much to discuss. 3 days later, a historical communication took place between Emperor Sung and the President of the United Earth Government. Princess Ta and Hannah worked tirelessly as translators and advisors, helping bridge the vast cultural differences between the species. The talks continued for weeks. There were heated arguments, cultural misunderstandings, and moments when it seemed agreement was impossible. Yet slowly, carefully, a framework for cooperation emerged. They still don't trust us completely, Captain G told Hannah after a particularly difficult negotiation session. And frankly, we don't fully trust them. Trust takes time, Hannah replied. At least we're talking instead of fighting. 2 months after the summit, representatives from both species gathered on the Harmony Station to sign what would become known as the Harmony Accords. The treaty established boundaries that respected both civilizations' territories while opening channels for trade, cultural exchange, and scientific cooperation. Most revolutionary was the exchange program. Human artists, musicians, and philosophers would share their work with Valorans. In return, Valoran scientists and engineers would help humans advance their technology. Not a perfect solution, Princess Ta said privately to Hannah after the signing ceremony, but a beginning. All good things start small, Hannah replied with a smile. The princess's crest filaments rippled with what Hannah now recognized as happiness. You humans have so many wise sayings. We have a lot of foolish ones too, Hannah laughed. You'll learn those as well. The changes happened slowly at first. Small groups of human cultural representatives visited Valoran worlds. Valoran engineers helped improve human spacecraft and communication systems. There were setbacks and misunderstandings, but the foundation held. Princess Ta took her role as cultural ambassador seriously. She traveled extensively between the two civilizations, learning everything she could about human arts and sharing it with her people. Some Valorans rejected these new ideas, clinging to their traditional focus on function and efficiency. But others, particularly younger generations, became fascinated by human concepts of beauty and creativity. Hannah's career took a new direction as well. Promoted to ambassador, she became Earth's primary diplomatic representative to the Valoran Empire. Together, she and Princess Ta navigated the complex process of building understanding between their species. 10 years passed. The relationship between humans and Valorans transformed from wary cooperation to genuine alliance. The exchange of ideas benefited both civilizations in ways neither had imagined possible. Valoran technology helped humans establish colonies on previously uninhabitable worlds. Human artistic concepts inspired Valorans to rediscover aspects of creativity their civilization had abandoned millennia ago. For the first time, Valorans began creating objects and buildings that served aesthetic purposes alongside practical ones. On the 10th anniversary of the Harmony Accords, representatives from both species gathered for the first Galactic Cultural Summit. The meeting place was a space station orbiting a binary star system halfway between Earth and the Valoran homeworld. Ambassador Hannah Kim walked through the crowded reception hall, marveling at how normal it now seemed to see humans and Valorans mingling together. Most striking were the changes in Valoran appearance. Many now wore decorative enhancements on their natural crests, a fashion trend that had swept their empire. The functional sensory filaments had become a canvas for personal expression. Ambassador Kim, a familiar voice called. Hannah turned to see Princess Ta, now Minister of Cultural Exchange, approaching. Her crest filaments were adorned with delicate metallic threads that caught the light in ways that emphasized her natural colors. Minister Tay, Hannah replied with a warm smile. Your decorations are lovely. A practice now common among my people, Ta said. My father finds it puzzling, but he has grown more tolerant of our creative experimentation, as he calls it. They walked together to a quieter section of the station, looking out at the twin stars beyond. I have something to show you, Ta said. Something I've been working on for this anniversary. She led Hannah to a chamber that had been kept sealed until now. Inside stood a massive sculpture that reached from floor to ceiling. It was a twisting double helix of human and Valoran forms rising together toward the stars, crafted from materials that shifted and changed as they watched, creating patterns of light and color that seemed alive. It's called Beautiful Hair, Todd explained. Hannah stared at the artwork, feeling tears well in her eyes as she understood its significance. Do you remember? Princess Tai asked gently. Of course, Hannah smiled. I complimented your hair and changed the course of 2 civilizations, Tai finished. One simple observation of beauty where others saw only function. They stood together before the monument, human and Valoran, no longer separated by fear or misunderstanding. What do you think will happen in the next 10 years? Hannah asked. Tay's crest filaments rippled with colors that Hannah had come to recognize as hope. I believe we have only begun to discover what we can accomplish together. The universe is vast, and neither of us needs to face it alone. Outside the viewport, the binary stars cast their light across the station. 2 different types of stars, each with its own properties, creating together something more beautiful than either could alone.